Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. It's Liquid here, and we're going to take a look at Nvidia stock today. It was down 3% in the last session and 12% over the last 3 days. One of the biggest multi-day corrections we've seen in a while. So let's take a look at the market structure for this company on the daily chart first, and then we'll zoom out to the weekly chart after. There hasn't been any major news in the last week with Nvidia, so I think this big sell-off is just winners taking profits because they are apprehensive about the stock going above this level, around 152.9. And what we have essentially is a double top, which is a bearish sign. It looks like the 152 area could be the high point, at least for now, and we will likely see lower prices. Now, for that to happen, though, it has to get below this level here, around 132. Very strong support level over the last few months, and previously this level was resistance before. So if it breaks down past this level again, then that is when I would start to get bearish. But right now, I'm not too confident where the price will go, because when we look at the moving averages, Nvidia has been sort of all over the place and very choppy. It's not like back in October where there was a clear direction where each of the moving averages from short to long were aligned correctly. There has been a lot more volatility, as you can see, and it's not clear where the EMAs are going because several days ago, all of the EMAs were heading upwards, but now all of them are heading downwards. So it is likely that if Nvidia drops below this purple line, we'll likely see the green line pass below the blue line and maybe even the red line, and that would be another bearish signal. If we zoom out now to the weekly chart, we can see that it's still looking pretty bullish on a longer time frame, but again, that 132 price level is going to be a major target to watch because that is where the blue 21 weekly EMA is right now. And if the price goes below that exponential moving average, it would represent a trend change, and we could see on the weekly chart Nvidia head lower. And after that, it would probably want to retest the 50 weekly EMA, this red line. That's usually what happens if the price breaks through the blue line. For example, back in 2021, we had the stock go up pretty much similar to like right now, where the green is above the blue and the price has remained pretty much above the blue line the whole time. But as soon as it crossed below the blue line, it wanted to come down and touch the red line. Now, there were some bounces, but eventually when it broke down below the red line, there was a pretty big bear market after that, dropping from the red line at least 50%. But if we go back to now, and you can see we are way higher than before, this blue EMA is again an important line for the bulls to hold. If not, it's likely the red line is next, and by the time it gets there, it'll probably be around 120 or so, depending on how long it takes. And then finally, the reason I'm leaning bearish is because when we look at the MACD, you have a peak here, and then a higher peak, and then a lower peak, which pretty much forms a head and shoulders pattern, and usually that's going to resolve towards the downside. But furthermore, if we just look at the recent two peaks, the one in July is higher than the one in November, which means the second peak here had less momentum going for it. But if we look at the stock price, the price actually went higher despite momentum being lower. This is what we call a bearish divergence because the momentum indicator is going down, and we can do the same for the RSI as well, which is this chart here. However, the price action signals it's going higher, so the two are diverging. So one trade idea would to buy puts, but again, I wouldn't execute on those orders unless Nvidia closes below this purple line, because right now it is still too uncertain. One thing you can use to gauge where Nvidia might go is to just look at the broad index. Taking a look at the SPX, we can see there is a clear bear channel right now. If I zoom into the daily chart, this is what it's looking like. Similar to Nvidia, it's uncertain where the price is going to go from here because the EMAs are all kind of together like this, not like a few months ago where it was clear that the prices were above the blue line and then the green line was also above the blue line. So if you want to make a bearish trade, I would wait until the next time the SPX bounces off the top of this bear channel, because since it's done it so many times, it's likely to bounce off that again and target the bottom of the channel, and then you can take some profits when it gets there. Now, if you want to make a bullish trade, I wouldn't get in unless it breaks above the top of this channel. Because even if we wait for the price to maybe head lower, and it does, and it bounces off the bottom of the channel, you could make a trade here, and assuming the bounce will continue, it'll likely come up to the top of the channel again, but that would be a smaller move than from the top to the bottom because it's going down. Also, you're kind of fighting the trend since the overall channel is going down. That's why it's safer to put in a bullish trade after you see a breakout. So those are a couple of names to watch for now. Good luck with all your investments this year. Thanks for watching, and until next time.